Welcome to your Lab Profile online self-study program. Hi, I'm Roger Bailey. I started creating the Lab Profile back in the late 1970s. My work at that time was as a senior programmer analyst at IBM. I was on staff to the director of IBM's most popular mainframe operating system. It was called Virtual Machines. At the time, I had a BS in social science and anthropology, and I was working on my MS in counseling. During that time, I got interested and started studying neurolinguistic programming, where I was introduced to the concept of metaprograms. The developers of NLP thought these metaprograms were the programs which run the programs in our brain. But I realized that these metaprograms were actually our brain's functional architecture. Our behavior patterns and our thinking patterns are supported and operated based on these architectural elements and structures. Let me give you a quick peek under the covers of what this Lab Profile training program gives you. Some of us are driven to achieve our goals, and some of us are cautious because of our concerns about what could go wrong. This is commonly referred to as toward and away from. And within the Lab Profile, I refer to these as a person's patterns or capabilities in the category of motivation direction. Everybody normally operates one way or the other. My Lab Profile training teaches you about 54 patterns spread out across a range of 17 categories. Your Lab Profile training program will teach you how to recognize, understand, and utilize all of these patterns. Hey, if someone is focused on details, don't expect them to be good with the big picture. And if someone always needs to follow procedures, don't expect them to operate with new options. And if someone needs to decide for themselves, don't expect them to be comfortable when you order them around. And some folks need to do stuff while others need to understand the concept. And others need to know how it's structured. These different kinds of folks function best when working and operating tasks which make use of their innate capabilities. There are three important things you learn beyond recognizing, understanding, and utilizing these patterns in others. You learn how to utilize, motivate, and influence each person based on which patterns are their normal patterns. You also learn that a person's patterns can change based on context, and you learn about your own patterns and your own motivations. So welcome. With your Lab Profile training, there are three important things you learn beyond recognizing, understanding, and utilizing these patterns in others. You learn how to utilize, motivate, and influence each person based on their normal patterns. You also learn that a person's patterns can change based on context, and you learn about your own patterns and your own motivations. My Lab Profile online training program, with 28 video lessons, gives you the tools which help you collect, maintain, and understand the patterns of those you need to manage or influence, such as your employees and your prospects and your customers. One of these tools is the Lab Profile interview form. Lab Profile users interview people to determine that person's unique set of patterns, their capabilities. When you interview top performers, for instance, at some task, the common lab patterns among that group are the patterns that are needed and required for top performance at that task in your organization. Because the Lab Profile results also gives you motivation and influence tactics, you improve your ability to attract and hire and train and motivate top performers and keep them motivated and productive. So welcome to your own Lab Profile training program. I'm available to answer your questions as you go through this video training program. After you sign up, I'll give you my email address, and as you go through this training program, I'll respond to your emailed questions and comments, usually within a couple of days.